there are members of the Obama administration who fully acknowledge that this happened. Tommy Vietor, he tweeted out, yeah.
Oh, wow, that just snuck up on me, dude. I don't know if I can handle this. I'm going to keep it real. I don't know if I can handle Ben Shabibo defending bombing the Associated Press building. It's going to kill me. I will die. I will literally die. It's so gross. He's so gross, dude. Joe Biden did make an official statement. Hamas defend good, Israel bad, war building, come on, man. I'm Bo Jiden and I approve this message. That's so funny, dude.
3 months, Pog.
Idiot.
At a certain point, it is not about being pro-Palestinian. It is about just being anti the Jewish state.
What? Such a bloodthirsty, delusional freak, dude. Literal just psychopath, okay? Absolute psychopathic. Once again, I ask, what should defenders of the state of Israel in America do? Because most of them defend across the board. Unconditional, uncritical support to Israel. Joe Biden gave $735 million worth of weapons to Israel 2 days, or not even 24, not even 48 hours after the Associated Press building was bombed. What more could they do, Ben? Joe Biden has personally been responsible for the death, evisceration, and murder of more Palestinians than you, motherfucker. He has a higher body count, bitch. Get your fucking numbers up, you fucking pathetic pussy. Joe Biden is literally murdered and is personally responsible for the murder of more Palestinian babies than you. And you're out here fucking still shitting on him? That's crazy to me. That actually blows my mind that Ben is out here with this take saying like the Democrats are not doing enough. The media is not doing enough. What do you want them to do?
Right before the Jewish holiday of Shavuot, which is why I was off for the past couple of days, Israel knocked out this building in Gaza, which was being used by Hamas, clearly being used by Hamas.
Israel has given no evidence and has lied about the evidence that they have given to the American authorities. Anthony Blinken literally said Israel's given us no evidence, and then they lied about giving us evidence about how there was Hamas in this building. Regardless, whether or not Hamas intelligence assets are within that building, which was occupied by media companies for 15 years. 15 years, I guess they were side by side with Hamas and they just had no fucking clue. I'm going to take the words of Tommy Vietor, who has nothing to do with this situation whatsoever, who made such a fucking erroneous, idiotic misstep that he immediately deleted the tweet. But that deleted tweet is more significant for Ben Shabibo than any amount of coverage that can come from the rest of the media. Why? Because it was a moment where Tommy Vietor seemingly agreed with his psychopathic, bloodthirsty agenda. God damn it, dude.
Now, the reason that Hamas locates in buildings with the Associated Press there is specifically because they wish to use the Associated Press as a shield. This is why. Because then Israel hits an empty building.
It doesn't change anything. If someone was like, hey, Ben, we are going to bomb your fucking house in Nashville, Tennessee, but we're going to warn you ahead of time, Ben would not accept that. Like, and understandably, he would not accept that because that would be psychotic. Like, that's insane, dude. No one accepts this. No normal human being would be like, oh, thank God they're warning me. The only thing that you're saying in that situation is that, like, they could just do genocide without warning them.
And then the Associated Press starts whining to the world about how terrible it is that Israel would knock down a building. How awful that Israel would do this sort of thing.
This motherfucker literally lost his mind about BLM protests because some of those BLM protests ended up turning into or escalated in large part due to the police retaliation into more violent struggles that broke storefronts. A Starbucks window breaks in any area that has like more than 13% black people, and Ben will literally be on it, covering it round the clock. Like, look at how violent these blacks are. All BLM protests are about violence and taking down businesses. But Israel just, blows up a building. It's not a big deal, dude. It's just a fucking not a big deal. Like, what? It's just a building, dog. Like, I don't understand. Like, why are you making a big deal out of it? Because he's a fucking donkey. Okay.
Which is not a shock because Hamas and the Associated Press have a covert deal. That deal is that Associated Press gets to stay in Hamasistan.
What? Dude. This is no different than just like conspiracy, like QAnon conspiracy theories. Like he's just like fucking making this shit up. Like he's just saying that like, big Hamas and big Associated Press are just like working with one another. Zero evidence, Andy, by the way.
So long as it prints Hamas propaganda and does not print stuff that it knows about how Hamas uses civilians as human shields.
What the fuck? This is psychopathic, dude. Would you approve of Israel if you saw evidence? Fuck no. I don't give a fuck if literal Hamas military members are in that building. I don't give a fuck, dude. Are you fucking stupid? No. I don't even give a fuck if Hamas were like, we are in this building specifically because there's media here. You absolutely cannot blow up a fucking media building, dude. So you are saying you are biased? Yes, motherfucker. I am biased towards humanity. I am biased towards all fucking human beings and their well-being. I am biased in the sense that I believe that subjecting 2 million plus civilians into living a horrifying existence, okay, in the world's largest open-air prison that you routinely bomb, that you control the water supply of, where 97% of the people living there do not have access to clean water, and you control their electricity, and then you keep bombing their fucking infrastructure over and over again, that's bad. And if you aren't biased in that respect, if you aren't biased towards the humanity of Palestinians, you are a fucking monster, okay? So I am not fearful of saying that I am biased towards humanity in this situation. I am biased towards a humane existence, offering a egalitarian, or not even, fuck it, not even egalitarian, offering a humane existence for Palestinians living in Gaza, Palestinians living all around the world, and Palestinians living in the occupied West Bank. So if you don't have those biases, you are a fucking piece of shit. You are no different than a Nazi. I'm sorry that I am doing propaganda that revolves around acknowledging the humanity of Palestinians. I apologize.
According to AP CEO Gary Pruitt, he said his organization had no indication Hamas was in the building or active in the building. He said, this is something we actively check to the best of our ability. We would never knowingly put our journalists at risk.
Here, this is a great way to undermine the argument from the Associated Press by just reading it in a baby voice.
This is nonsense, says HasanAbi. Pruitt knowingly puts journalists at risk every day he sends them to places like Gaza. But how did Pruitt actively check? Did he ask Hamas? Did he call the landlord?
What the fuck? Ah! Did you call the CEO of Hamas, bro? No, exactly. So every Palestinian technically is Hamas, and therefore there was Hamas there. I know. From Nashville, Tennessee, hypothetically, I know better than the fucking Associated Press that was in the building.
It is, of course, highly probable that Hamas was using journalists as human shields, because this is what it does. During the last major outbreak of violence in 2014, Gaza's Shifa hospital became a de facto headquarters for Hamas leaders.
Yo, dude, what? Yeah, Hamas is literally in here right now. Hamas is in my house. IDF should blow it up. You know, give me forewarning ahead of time. But like, you know, they can do it. They can do it. Who knows? You literally don't need any fucking proof. Ben will believe it regardless.
In 2014, former AP reporter Maddie Friedman recounted, quote, the AP staff in Gaza City would witness a rocket launch right beside their office, endangering reporters and other civilians nearby, and AP would not report it.
I can't do this. I can't do this. It's just so insane. It's like he's literally making shit up. He's making shit up. The Associated Press has still, as a part of the Western media apparatus, consistently sided with Israel using passive voice all the fucking time when talking about Palestinian casualties as though they perished on their own, and then talking about Israeli civilians being murdered, being killed, okay? Like, these guys have no interest in adequately offering coverage to the plight of Palestinians living in Gaza. For the most part, they don't. Saying that the Western media absolutely fucking takes Hamas propaganda hook, line, and sinker and does propaganda for them is psychotic. The most that they'll do in certain instances where there is incredible violence that is unavoidable, that like every normal human being that is not blinded by propaganda of this sort will see, they end up covering it not even adequately in that situation, but they'll report the casualties. Like, you know what I mean? And these motherfuckers still get mad. Like, Ben literally gets mad. I guess he wants the Associated Press to be like, I guess he wants them to lie and just be like, yeah, they blew up our building, and it was actually good that they blew up our building because, you know, there wasn't any evidence that the Hamas soldiers were in there, but let's just say that there was. I mean, what if there was? There could have been.
Cameramen waiting outside Shifa Hospital in Gaza would film the arrival of civilian casualties and then, at a signal from an official, turn off their cameras when wounded and dead fighters came in, helping Hamas maintain the illusion that only civilians were dying. This too happened. The information comes from multiple sources.
I know it happened, hypothetically. Sources, trust me, bro. Just trust me. Just come on, dude. First-hand sources,
fully acknowledge. Okay.
Where's he getting this information from if no one is reporting it? Probably, like, Reddit threads. It's just someone who's like, I'm IDF, bro. Believe, bro. Believe. I'm IDF, bro. I see this firsthand, bro. Come on. Come on, bro. Just report, bro. Fucking 4chan. Anonymous account on 4chan that claims to be a fucking IDF person. It's QAnon, dude. This is literally QAnon shit.
Okay, Tommy Vietor, who worked for Barack Obama. He didn't just drive his van. He was one of his advisors. He tweeted out, yeah, probably Hamas was in the building, but still you shouldn't hit the building. Unreal.
By the way, even if Hamas is in the building, and I'm saying it with my chest one more time, yes, you literally should not attack a building that is a media building just because Hamas is slated to be within the building. Sorry, it's still a fucking war crime. I mean, here, let me flip the script here. IDF is all over Israel. A lot of Israeli citizens, as a consequence of like being forced into military service, are either currently in the National Reserves or a part of the IDF or were a part of the IDF. Having said that, if Hamas somehow infiltrated the Israeli boundaries and blew up, and they don't even have the fucking capability of doing this, but in a hypothetical scenario, if some motherfuckers in Hamas blew up the entire media building, and then claimed like, sorry, there's Israelis, there's IDF in there, how do you think Israel would react? I mean, Hamas lobs bullshit bathtub rockets that are basically like fireworks on fucking steroids into Israeli territory. Those rockets get intercepted by the Iron Dome, and then they fucking respond by murdering 65 babies, okay? 65 children in a span of 11 days. 65 children alone. 230 plus Palestinians have died so far. How do you think they would retaliate? Absolutely zero people would consider this to be just or honest or reasonable.
There's this long time feeling on the left that Israel is a colonial state. They're angry at America, and therefore they're angry at Israel. Or they're angry at Europe, and therefore they're angry at Israel. So Europe, because Europe has always had issues with Jews, has attempted to separate off, except for a couple of countries right now, like Hungary and Austria.
Based Viktor Orban supporting Jew. Very cool.
The way the left views the world is that if you are successful in a civilized system, it is because you have victimized someone. This is the view in the United States. The same thing happens internationally. If there is a group that is successful and you can castigate them as white, Jews suddenly became white for this purpose, and you can castigate them as white versus the quote-unquote brown Palestinians, which is the way that Rashida Tlaib talks about this, then that is just another indicator of hierarchical systems that have to be torn down.
Yeah, like Ben, for example, is not a white person. I mean, you can tell. Ben is a brown person. Motherfucker, I'm white. I'm Muslim. My name is Hassan. I grew up in Turkey, and I'm white. I say I'm white all the time. What happened? Like, Ben was talking about white culture and Western civilization and how fucking dope it is. And all of a sudden, when it comes to like defending Israel's war crimes, he's like, it's kind of fucked up. Unacceptable. Literally, there is white supremacy baked into the Zionist project separately from everything else, where the treatment of Ethiopian Jews and African migrants within the boundaries of Israel is literally disgusting. Shit that American racists and white supremacists would look to and go, God damn, that's good stuff. It's wild that like white supremacy does not factor into it, even though I have talked about a million times on the show that you know that Israelis are not Jews are not a monolith. They come from many different ethnic backgrounds: Sephardic, Mizrahi, Ashkenazi. There's so many different types of Jewish people from all around the fucking world. So obviously there's like hella brown Jews as well. The actions of Israel as a settler occupying colonialist state is real fucking white, dude. Sorry, Israel, you're acting kind of white right now, dude. Just saying. And that's the kindest way to approach this matter from an honest framework, okay?
It is not a surprise to see Black Lives Matter supporting Hamas. They came out and tweeted yesterday, Black Lives Matter stands in solidarity with Palestinians. We are a movement committed to ending settler colonialism in all forms and will continue to advocate for Palestinian liberation. Always have and always will be.
Bro, if you consider this to be bad, you're a bad person. Like, I don't know how else to describe this to you. If you consider Palestinian liberation to be a negative thing, like, you're fucking a bad person. Like, I don't know how else to say it, dude.
Hashtag Free Palestine. By Free Palestine, they don't mean a separate state of Palestine living alongside in peace and harmony a Jewish state. They mean wiping out the state of Israel.
Like, that's a fucking psychopathic, dude. You are just a bad person, Ben. You are a bad person. And I really hope one day you recognize how horrible of a monster you are. It's never going to fucking happen, but goddamn, I have nothing else, dude. I have nothing else to say. You're just like, it's a self-report every fucking time. Every fucking time that you make a claim that the acknowledgement of Palestinians as human beings is a bad thing, you are reporting on yourself. You are basically saying, I'm a bad human being, okay? I'm not a good person. I'm a bad person. And I think that it's anti-Semitic to say that Palestinians are humans.